Good afternoon and welcome to International Racing League Season 15 F1C at round number 8 at Britain. I am your commentator Aaron Neon, or as Jared Fosbury, ready to do round number 8 for today. At the moment we only have 12 in the lobby, we still wait for a couple more to join. F2 unfortunately didn't go ahead today, it was meant to go ahead at 7 but a couple of people had to drop out last minute, and same with the World Series on Friday. But hopefully that can be sorted out for the next round for them, I believe would be next week. And good evening. Welcome to the stream. As I said, waiting for a couple more drivers. I think we should have 18 or 16 drivers today. Some of the F2 might be able to race as well since the F2 tier didn't go ahead. So I'll look at availability right a second. Yeah, we should have 18. So I'll wait then. As a couple people are still running a bit late. Both Ferraris, both Mercs. No, one of the Mercs are here at least. I don't know about Ushin. The Alpine of Sondre. Don't know about that. I don't know if he is racing or not. The Haas team should have both drivers. As Cameron has gone in his AlphaTauri then. And I'm missing both McLarens as well. So. Oh, Sondre is racing today, so he has joined then. For the Alpine. So the Alpines are full. Just making sure everything's all good. Is any penalties for this round? So if Ushin actually attends today's race, he does have a 10-second time penalty, which he will serve for today. Obviously, if he races today, obviously if he doesn't, it will be the next round. And only his 3-second in France was removed after the bit of contact he had potentially with Alfie, I think, on the double right-hander. I think that's why his 3-second got removed. So they're the only steward stuff from France. There's now 14 in the lobby as voice chat has been suspended. Standings at the moment, let's have a look at them as we haven't seen them 4 bits since the last round. After had that week break, and Cameron Young, the defending champion, is in the lead, and I believe that will be his first time in the lead this season. It's been sometimes Millam, sometimes Curtis. But Cameron Young has a 4-point gap ahead of Millam. 94 points Cameron has, Millam has 90. Then there's a bit of gap. In third place is Curtis with 74 points. Curtis is one of the high favourites to win this title this season, as he's quite quick, probably almost the same pace as Cameron when he's on form. Cameron Armstrong still having a good season in 4th with 69 points, doing very well there. Edward then in 5th with 65, and then obviously a bit more of a gap then with Tony with 49, then Alfie in 7th with 38 points. Lee Kelly with 31 with the Haas team. Big Boy joining the McLaren with 30. Fergus Wilson, who's no longer in the F1, I believe he's in the PC division now, is still 10th with 28 points, and obviously the reserve then of Liam is in 11th with 26. So have a look at the constructor side. Let's see how the standings are looking on there while waiting for a couple more people to join us. Ross has joined today, even though he is a F2 driver. He will be racing for us today, which is good. The Williams pair then are still leading the constructors with points of 139 points to their name. AlphaTauri second with 132. Then Lee and Millam dropped off a little bit, 121. They're the only 3 teams within triple digits. The closest team after that, who's close to get triple digits after that, is the Red Bull team of Snookser and Karen Armstrong with 97 points. Tony and, it says Ross here, but it isn't Ross anymore, with 50 points, with Aston in 5th. 6th is Lordy with the Merc, with Ushin with 40 points. Alfa Romeo with Brandon Ollie in 7th with 34 points, and then a bit more of a gap with the Alpine team of Sondre and Mumford with 21 points, and the McLaren in 9th, with Alex Waller, Big Boy Jr. with 18 points, and Ferrari still haven't scored a point this season with drivers of Charlie and Laws. Hopefully when they do race today or whenever the next time race, they can score some points. So we've already passed the halfway stage of this season. It's looking for a three-way fight for the constructors, and the way the drivers are going, I'm going to go with a three-way fight. Maybe just end with Cameron and Millen going for it in the end. But I think it's Cameron, Curtis, and Millen all scrapping away for the drivers' title this season in the end. Hopefully, some other guys can get some decent results and hopefully climb their way up there. As we're just waiting for, I believe, one more driver. We have 18 in, so who are we missing? One of the Ferraris and one of the Mercs. And one of the Haas. Somebody has not got in their car. Mumford. Because there's two Alpines. That's why Mumford's not in his car. So he's going in the Ferrari today, I believe. Yep, so he's going in the Ferrari. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so we're just missing a Merc and a Haas. So Lee Kelly and Ocean. Let's have a look on availability. Did those two say they can't make it? Lee did. Ocean said... Well, Ocean actually didn't say anything, it looks like. It shows me here. Ocean. No, Ocean said he could race, so... Hopefully he remembers. Just message his team out. We're just still waiting for a couple more drivers to join. Yeah, we're just missing a Merc and a Haas. Well, we should be going in a sec. Tony's saying, poor Neon having to talk about the way to keep the stream going. I'm not talking about that yet. We'll have to soon. Hopefully, we do get some clear skies for the race in the Brain, because usually Brain can turn to have a decent race. Well, it is Brain, you know. Usually does rain in the country. We have 19 now, so I'm guessing the Merc of Ushin decided to get his act together and join the lobby, as he knew the race. He was in the pole with us earlier, so we're just waiting for one more driver, I think. Nope, we're actually going to go underway then. So we're 19, still a solid turnout, I've got to say. Lodi and the rest of the admin team have done a solid job this season for this tier. Good turnouts all the way through. I think our lowest, I believe, has been 17, which still is pretty decent compared to last season's. But it's good to see people are enjoying the league and hoping to enjoy more racing, and hopefully we can have more success next season as well with other tiers. But as of right now, though, the main tier to focus on is the PS F1 tier. Who is going to win today's race? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see for that. But my quality prediction as follows will be Curtis taking pole with Cameron a very close second. I know he's quick around here, but I think Curtis could potentially match him. Third, I'm going to go with Edward. I think he could show some strong pace as well. Fourth, out of the grid, I'm going to go with a safe bet and go with Alfie. I think Alfie could get fourth, I think, to be fair on him. He showed us some decent quality pace in Qatar, where he beat his teammate in qualifying, and I believe in Hungary he out-qualified him. I believe it was Hungary, it might have been France. So we have 3 more seconds and we'll go into the quality session to see what the weather is like. As I said, hopefully it's clear skies in the quality session and the race, as we are loading in now. And it's cloudy, no threat of rain at the moment. I think everything on the other hand is all good. Interesting, Donut then I've decided to go on the intermediate tyre already. Maybe there is rain on the way, unless he's trying to fool me, which wouldn't surprise me. Is Rosphere. And if also, guys, you are interested in signing up to IRL, do let us know in the comments, or join the Discord, or check our Twitter out and send us a message, as we've still got spaces for the F2 tier and the F1 for PC tier, F1 and F2, and PS obviously F2, and also the World Series tier, which is on Fridays at 8. And also, if you guys are interested in the GT7 series, that is also a thing we're going to try and do. Fire if we can get a couple more sign-ups, and then we should be a good score with that. It will be Group 3 cars. But enough about that. We already got some cars leaving the garage, and it's an Aston straight away. And I believe it's done at Denham. Why is he out on intermediates? I think I feel like my game sounds a bit too high. Let me adjust that for 1 second. And he's already spun. Why is that doing that? There we go. So then, Ross obviously did just spin there on the intermediate, which isn't a surprise considering it's dry and it's him just being silly, I think, and trying to be funny when he's not. So we do have an Alpine ahead, I believe. I believe that is Sondra. Yes, it is Sondra then in the Alpine. Is out on track as the first, obviously, to begin a flying lap on the soft compounded tyre. See what he can do. As some of the drivers are behind him, warming up. I believe that is the Red Bull of Cameron Armstrong on the medium compound, which I've noticed he's done a couple of times where he started on the medium, done a good lap on them, and then gone on softs and gone a bit quicker. As long as he's left this session, hopefully he can return as soon as possible. But Sondra then has begun his flying lap around Britain. See what he can do there. Through one he goes. Decent through 1 and 2. Doesn't lose the rear end or anything, or losing control, which is usually his thing. Through turn 3 now and 4 to the double left-hander. Traction on last game was pretty horrible through there. This game, it's a bit better. It's the Alpine then on the first DRS detection zone and ending the first sector to enter a sector 2 then. A 27.8 first sector, not a bad first sector. Now in the second sector then he goes as the approaching the old start straight. Before they updated the track. As now going through Copse Corner then. Absolutely flat there in 8th gear. Keeps it within track limits as well, so he is going for it this time. He hasn't made a mistake as of yet. As he going through Maggots and Beggots now. Chapel down the hanger straight then, where we're going to see a lot of overtaking opportunities, hopefully in the race, if it's obviously some good weather. The McLaren there has to be wary that the Alpine is on a flyer. That is Big Boy Duran or Alex Waller there. Oh, Sondra Sohaug spins it, and he lives up to his name as a bottle. As I go on board with Cameron Armstrong then, currently in the Red Bull, obviously on the medium compound. At the moment he's sitting in 9th place, not lap time set. Round the final corner he goes then. Let's see what time he will do without barely any fuel. And it's 26.3. I don't know if that's good enough on those mediums or anything like that. At the moment we've got a Williams, which is next. And I believe it's Edward. It is Edward. Edward coming around the final corner to set a flying lap. Let's see what he can do. And 26 flat, so only 3/10 quicker than Cameron Armstrong, who's on the medium compounded tyre. So maybe Cameron Armstrong's time is decent enough. Is that Cameron Young, a guy who's... Jesus Christ. 25.2. What a lap there from Cameron Armstrong. So that's the representative time to beat then from the other lot. 8/10 the gap is from second. So another bad time is Curtis. So 25.5 there in second place. Millen then goes next with third. 25.8 then as a Ferrari. See that is Mumford. It is Mumford. He's invited. What about Alfie? Is he on an outlap? He is. That's actually the Alfa Romeo. That's the Alfa Romeo Brown, who's just finished the lap. The Merc then is next of Ushin. Ollie obviously is invalidated. The Merc Ushin's peeled into the pit lane. The McLaren then on board with next, if it lets me. Then Ushin's left the session. Right. Why has he left the session? As Big Boy June is coming across the line then next. And he goes 5th quickest with a 1:26.1. That's what obviously he's getting preparing for his lap. The Alpine, I believe that is of Sondra behind, getting ready for his 2nd attempt. And I believe that's Alfie in the background, in his camera. The Aston Martin then of Denham then finally decided to go on the soft tyre. And we'll see what the issue is with the Mercs. On board down then through the first sector he goes into the double left. Someone's just set a time. That is Sondra obviously with a 41 as a banker, I believe that was, or was that Alfie? No, it was Alfie with a 26 flat, then moves to 4th, as I said he probably would be. Not a bad time, obviously a lot of time to improve. Still only 3/10 quicker than Cameron Armstrong on the medium compound. Cameron Armstrong was. Right now Dunham's coming close to his former team. Obviously it's not really his team anymore after he's been put to F2. I don't know if he'll be scoring points for the Aston team. Let's see what he can do through Cops then. Does he lift off? Nope, flat to the floor in 8th. Now approaching Magnussen Beckett. That's down the 6th then the 5th. As apparently the Mercs had issue with the cars, apparently. So that's why they... Lodi actually I believe is back since he's back on an out lap. Stone Denham moves to 8th. The Ferrari, fair enough on the driver, it goes to 3rd place with a 25.8 there, not a bad time. Wow, wasn't expecting that. As we'll go on board with Lodi actually in the Mercedes on his first official lap, as the first time he was on track it got him disconnected due to an issue. Hopefully it is fixed. Oh, hang on, a bit of traffic there from the Williams and the Aston. I hope that wasn't affecting his line. I was just checking chat, see if any more news. Let's see, we'll go back on board that on the stream. As right now though, he goes flat through Cops. Into Magnussen Beckett, now he goes. And yes, he did get kind of affected there by the Williams. Now, I don't know if that was a slipstream tactic or something, but well, he might report that for quali. Sondra has retired then. He's actually lost it apparently in the S section. Or was he retired in the pits? There's yellows in the S section, but I don't see his car. As Lodi comes around the final corner to set a banker, and he is 11th quickest with 26.3. To be fair on him, not a bad lap on the softs, 26.3 there for him. As the Ferrari then, I believe Mumford is just starting his flying lap then, as we go on board with Billy Mossam then, back to the IRL grid. I believe last season we saw him race in the Alpine for today. He's currently in the final sector. Ollie, I believe, is right behind him on a actual lap. I don't believe Brand's on a lap at the moment. Let's have a look at him, as Tony, I believe, is in the second... No, he's in the first sector. It was actually Ross who decided to peel into the pit lane. And here comes Mumford then. Sorry, Billy. Goes 13th with 28.9. As Mumford then is obviously just in the second sector at the moment. Both Alfa Romeos are starting their second runs. Same with Millen. Millen's starting his second run as well. Is that Edward through the Store corner. It is headed. Oh, as he loses the rear there. It was a very easy catch there. I don't know if he was on an actual fly then in the end, or but he almost lost it there through Store. So that's his second attempt over. I believe that's Cameron, who is next. He also just enters the pit lane. His teammate Alfie on and out lap. The Merc of Lordy, I believe, is going in the pit lane. Yes, he is. What about Alex Waller? He's on and out lap as well. So Mumford is actually the next person up then in the S section with the temporarily Monza Ferrari livery. Obviously it will be removed when the new update. And Mumford then goes 7th quickest with a 26 flat there. A bit slower than his provisional teammate for today. But not a bad time to set. And so it's quite close for a couple of the drivers. As the next up will be the Alfa Romeos. Brandon then, I believe it's the first one he is. Currently lining 13th at 1:26.8. His teammate, no lap time set at the moment. And I now know why he hasn't set lap time. Because Ollie Favell has spun it. So that's... He's going to now decide to go in the pits, get a fresh set of softs, and hopefully not spin on his final run. As we're going on board with Brian right now, through the final corner he goes. Let's see what he can do. And it's a 26.9, no improvement. And here comes Miller then, round the final corner. Will he improve? Will he be able to challenge Cameron Lewis? He goes second with a 25.4 there, 2/10 off Cameron Young, and I know Cameron's got some more pace in the tank then. Especially if Millen's almost matching his pace there. I'm not being harsh to Millen, but I know Cameron is usually OP at this track, as he was on the TT. As the Alfa Romeo, I believe, I feel on another lap. He isn't, but we're going to go on board with Alfie, Cameron's teammate right now, through the final 2 corners. He goes, rides the exit curb, hits the inside curb to the line, and it's going to be a 26 flat then. Doesn't improve, but holds 6th position as of right now. Snookster in 5th in the Red Bull, 25.9. Ollie, banker, 36.9 on 16th, so he has to the time, so he won't be starting behind Sandro or Ushin. As we go on board in the McLaren of Alex Waller, he's just set a lap, 14th right now with a 27 flat. I don't believe Ollie's on another run. No, he's a 10th down. No, if I was him, I'd pit. I wouldn't risk a second attempt for no reason. I'll tell you, he's definitely on another run. It's Lordy and Curtis here. As of right now, the top 3 are in the championship order. Obviously, Cameron in 1st, Millen 2nd, and then Curtis in 3rd. As Lordy on his out lap will be the next one to start a flying lap. I believe Ollie actually is finishing his lap, funnily enough. And yep, he goes 13th with barely any ERS. He's quicker than his teammate, a 26.4, so fair on Ollie. Finishing off the lap. The Ferrari then of... Wow, a 25.5 there. I'll have to get this Ferrari driver's name because I don't know who this is. Al Pacino. It's gone 3rd. I believe that's how you pronounce it. If I've said that wrong, then fair enough. But right now we're going to go back on board with Lordy then. Currently in 12th then, as I've said, with a 1:26.3, beginning his 2nd qualifying attempt. Sorry, 3rd qualifying attempt, 2nd official qualifying run. He's through the 1st sector, not a bad 1st sector there from Lordy. Hopefully he can keep within track limits, but in the 2nd sector. Oh, very close to that white line. And the Ferrari driver, his name is Michael. So Michael then in 3rd place, not a bad time then, as I've said. But right now though, one board with Lordy through the 2nd sector, 2.5 up at the moment. Now in the 3rd sector, is he going to find a bit more time potentially to gain a couple of positions? Could he be a 25.9 runner? Could he be a 26 flat? I'll have to wait and see through these final couple of corners he goes then. As I believe this will be his final run as well. There's only 3 minutes left and the pit lane around here is really slow. So I don't think he has enough time to get round, get in the pits, change tyres and go again. But he goes 6th quickest with a 25.967 there. Just beats Alfie at the moment. Now, the man we need to watch is Lewis Curtis. Apparently 6.5 tenths down. Now, I do not believe that he is. And actually, yes, he is down 6.5 tenths. So he's peeling to bits, getting a fresh set of softs on. He's got enough time. So, Lloydie then was the last one we just saw there do a lap. Edward will be the next one up. He's currently in 9th. At the moment, a disappointing quality session for him, a 26 flat there. And it's happened a couple of times where he hasn't been where he was a couple of seasons ago, pace-wise in quali, where he's usually top 4, top 5. And obviously the grid is quite close this season. But Edward has been able to recover that. Maybe a terrible qualifying in, obviously, quali, but in the race, he's managed to gain positions, and now and then he's been able to get a podium and all that sort of stuff. So we could see Edward do that today if quali doesn't go his way. But I think Edward will give it his all then on his final run. As I said, he's currently 9th with 26 flat. If he only improves by a couple of tenths, he could move to 5th. So there's plenty of time to find. And as I've said, I believe Cameron Young is going to do a 25 flat. I genuinely believe he could do a 25 flat around here. So Edward will be the first one. Then Alpha's Tory of Cameron and Alfie next. Then I believe Cameron Armstrong of the Red Bull would be right behind them. No, it's actually Snookster. Snookster and the Red Bull's right behind them. Then I believe we have Millam, the only Haas driver, currently in 2nd, closest person to Cameron at the moment. As Curtis hasn't gone back out again. I think he forgot to go back out, or he just didn't have enough time. But, well, Curtis right now is currently staying in 4th. He isn't going to be taking pole today, or even in the top 3. I say he could potentially get 2nd or 1st. Now we're going to go on board with his teammate, Edward, then, as he starts his final flying lap, then, around Britain in this qualifying session. Then. Into 1 he goes, foot to the floor in 7th, holds it in 7th through 2, doesn't go up to 8th. Into turn 3 now, drops to 3rd gear, then. Takes a nice line there through turn 4. He gets decent exit power on early as well. Now through the obviously first detection point, as I said, we could see some potential overtaking opportunities if needed to make the overtake as soon as possible. Now through the long left and right hander on the hairpin. As in 08 we did see a lot of cars spinning around here in the wets in real life. As Edward then around the old start finish straight for F1 into Cops Corner. Flat in 7th, interestingly enough. Only person I've seen in 7th gear. Now up to 8th, then approaching Maggots and Beckett's now in the 2nd sector. Really pushing limits, it looks like. Let's see what the end of the sector split is. 4.5 tenths. I said only a couple of tenths, but 4.5 tenths. Could potentially sit him ahead of his teammate, maybe in between the Haas and the Ferrari, but scratch that, he's messed up completely. And well, that's his qualifying over, and he's going to be kicking himself with that. As Lordy then, he's actually, I believe, on another run actually while we're talking about this. We're going to go on board with Alfie, I believe, is next, or it might be Cameron. And Lordy doesn't improve. Stays 6th with 25.9. What about Cameron? Is he improving? And yes, he is. 25.1 there. Doesn't do the 25 flats I said he probably would do. And Alfie goes 2nd. I said he'd show some strong pace today in quali. And 2nd he goes. Not a bad time there from him. As next up, we're going to go on board with Millam. The guy who's got it all to lose this weekend and moves into 3rd place. 25.3 does improve by a tiny bit. Lewis Curtis drops to 6th. Right now, Edward's still P9 right now. And we see one of the Ferraris now improve. Does the 25.3 as well. I'm trying to keep on board with the drivers. Ollie is next then. He moves to 7th now with a 25.6. Just missed that beat in Curtis. And somehow Edwards managed to stay in 10th after that mistake. Only lost 1 position in the end of that. He's got to be kicking himself, especially with that spin, because he was up by 4.5 tenths. That could have easily put him 3rd, 4th or 5th. Wouldn't have got him 2nd, but it's an AlphaTauri 1-2. Tony yet again doesn't set a lap in quali, which usually doesn't, but he always has a solid race start, avoids all the issues and everything. But Cameron Young not provisional pole, he does take it, with Alfie right behind him in 2nd place, and then Millam in 3rd, and then Michael in the Ferrari in 4th, with Snooks to 5th, and Lewis Curtis, who didn't get a good enough run in that end, and probably forgot to go back out, thought he didn't have enough time, and stays 6th there. But what a lap there from Cameron, as I said, could be one of the guys to take pole. And he does, so fair enough on Cameron. So then, Cameron takes pole with 25-1 then, with Alfie 1.5 tenths in second, with Millen 2 tenths from the leader in third. Michael fourth, Snooks to fifth, Lewis Curtis in sixth, Oyfel seventh, Lodi in eighth. Not a bad quality after having a couple of issues with the car. Mumford in ninth there in the Ferrari. Obviously, I believe he is in the Alpine. Edward, disappointing qualifying for him after looked like he could have been fourth, as I said. He's messed up completely, which is not like him to do. And then we go with Big Boy Drew in 11th, Donut down 12th, Cameron Armstrong 13th. Not a good qualifying from him then, but he was on the mediums. Brandon 14th, got out qualified, I believe, by his teammate as well, yet again. Brandon struggling with the pace on this game. Alex Waller 15th, Billy Mossam 16th, Sondre 17th then, Ushin and Tony, no lap time set, as they will be starting at the back of the grid. Now, I don't know if Ushin made it back into the session, because I was paying attention to other things on my TV screen instead of people leaving and joining. But hopefully he did make it back, as I'd like to keep a 19-car grid, because if he doesn't, well, his penalty will be for the next round. Even though he turned up for quali, he has to do the race. And the skies are clear, which is awesome, so we're going to see some good racing, hopefully, and hopefully no major incidents. As, to be fair, I will give him the credit. We've only had, I think, one race where there was a couple of dodgy things, but other than that, most of the drivers have been squeaky clean with overtakes and when to make the move and when to push, you know, like get wheel to wheel, all that sort of stuff. As they're waiting on now, a couple of people now to pick their race strategies, tune their fuel loads, tune their when they're going to pit, maybe adjust the front wing a little bit, because you can do that. My race prediction though, I'm going to go with Cameron, Curtis, Edward, Alfie. That is my top four. I think it's going to be Cameron winning, as I said. If he takes pole in quali, I think he's going to be a man to beat, unless the safety car. Safety car could flip things up. It's happened to me where I was starting last round here, and when we had a fifth tier, obviously it was a lower tier, and obviously the pace was different, but I started at last, and I believe lap 20, safety car came out, and then I won the race. So anything could happen. We could see Tony even win this race, as I've just said. So I went for a couple more people then, as we're now going to 5 red lights. And we're underway then for round number 8, and Big Boy Duran has got a drive-through penalty, and I don't believe he's the only one. Oshin as well, Mumford and Big Boy Duran, I believe, have got drive-throughs. And oh my God, there's been an accident, I think, in the background. And yes, there is. There's a Ferrari going spinning, and it is Mumford there. He's been in an incident with somebody, and there's more contact up ahead. There's Millen, there's Michael, and there's a Mercedes and an Aston Martin there with no front wing there. So there's been chaos already. Sondre might have caused that. He's got a 5-second penalty. There's yellows all around the track. Now, I hope this isn't a bug or anything. Oh, it's a VSC, so actually no, it just wasn't shown on the top left screen. But a VSC has been called. But this is brilliant news for Cameron Young. Brilliant news for the constructors as well, especially for Williams. Right now, Curtis obviously didn't get a good start. He's currently in 7th, but he's going to gain a free position. Edward solid start from 10th to 8th. So Michael, Millen, Mumford definitely will be investigating. Sure, obviously I missed a couple of things, so I was trying to see what happened, which I fell back. But yeah, that's going to be a kicker for some of the drivers under this VSC right now. Red Bulls though, Cameron Armstrong, I don't know how many positions he's just gained. He's gained 9 within a couple of corners, so fair play on to Cameron Armstrong on the medium compound as well. So got to be happy with that. It's still under VSC conditions, and he's just taken out his teammates. Well, that's definitely getting investigated. I need to make sure there's not an issue or anything. Some of these routes will, if these are a lot of people are in the pits then for repairs. Ferraris are double stacking, and Curtis, as I said, it's brilliant news for Cameron on his championship side. Curtis got screwed with a potential incident, and has had to have a front wing change. So this is going to be interesting. Back to green flag racing as we're board aboard with Millen right now, currently on the soft compound. Obviously trying to redeem what happened at the start. I think he might have got away with any sort of damage to the car. Billy in 10th right now. Mulligan's just moved up to 8th place. As I said, the biggest gains was Cameron Armstrong, but I think Cameron Armstrong might be getting a penalty with that incident with Snooks there. And already, as you can see, Cameron has already pulled to a 1.3, and actually I can't believe I'm saying this, Lordy's in third, and well, Ollie's just let Millen through, going almost side by side at one point there. Probably trying to get the car rotated to get a good run out of the Hanger straight. They can't make it work. As on board with Brandon, he's had a good start of the race, currently in fifth. As there's at the moment two groups. Obviously the main group who haven't pitted and got any damage, and then obviously the group which had damage and had to pit. And Tony, for the first time I believe this season, has been involved in an incident which I believe wasn't his fault, obviously, and it's not helped him. So right now, Cameron Young in the lead, Alfie second, Lordy then on lap number 3 is in third place and keeping up with the Alphas, to be fair on him, and might be slightly pulling away from Edward. Obviously the tyre difference, Edward's on hard compound. But that was interesting on that race start. Couple of jumps and then there was a major incident. Cameron Armstrong's in the pits again. I think Cameron might get a big penalty. If he retires, it's him and Michael come to blows. Let's see if Michael's getting a front wing change. We are keeping up the flight ahead as well. We'll keep an eye on that. And yep, there is a front wing change going on with the Ferrari then, so I think them two have been involved in another incident. Mumford back in the pits. Going down there, losing a bit of pace right now. Alex Waller trying to keep up with Ollie Favell in P8. The Alptories right now currently pulling away at first and second. Gap 2.3 seconds right now from Lordy. Then trying to get in this train as Ross has now made a mistake. Ross is off the track there. So what happened to Ross? If you wonder why I'm not speaking, I'm a bit confused here what's happened. Alex Waller then trying to make a move then on Donald Denham right now. Gets a oh my god, it looked like he got a decent exit. He almost lost complete control of his car. What is this? You can't lose it there. Still trying to find a way through. Now drop back a bit. I think Ross might have made just a bit of an error through the final two corners. We have a couple more people watching, and if you do have information to tell us what happened, obviously at the start, if you are some of the drivers, and do let us know, because I'm really confused right now. Right now, Cameron and Alfie are just running away with it. And this is definitely going to benefit them. 1, for the drivers, for Cameron. 2, for the constructors, for the pair of them. And their closest threat at the moment is Lordy. Edward obviously on the hard tyre, but I'm wondering if the Alphas are doing soft hard. Or is there rain later on in this race? They've had this before where it said it's going to rain and it didn't rain. Like last weekend we had France, we were expected to have some rain. In the final stage of the race, it never came to pass. So, as of right now, we're going to go back on board with Lordy right now. Currently in third place. He is driving a solid race right now. Currently under threat by Edward. Sondre picks up a 3-second time penalty. I would say he's the first one to pick up pen, but he isn't. Obviously the guys who had their pens drive through his 5 seconds have obviously served. But as of right now then, Lordy third, Edward in fourth. Williams versus Merc, both powered by the Mercedes engine. Brandon in fifth there, not that far off, and he's actually matching Edward in pace, I think. Lordy's pace dropped off a bit on the mediums now, they're starting to already die off. Or has Edward just been chilling out, waiting for the tyres to get up to optimal temperature to start pushing. As of right now though, it looks like it's going to be Cameron and Alfie just dominating the race. So I think fight for the win and second is going to be a bit boring unless the teammates decide to squabble for the position. But I doubt they'll do that. Right now the current fight is obviously on third. Cameron Armstrong set the new fast lap of 28.6 then on the mediums. And here comes Edward making a move. 4P3 now. And moves into third. And as I've said, in quali, if you don't get a good quali, if Edward don't get a good quali, he gets a good race. And right now, His race is going his way. He's currently third. Lordy then down to fourth. He's now got Bran right behind him. These two have had a couple of fights before. Obviously, the main fights usually with Bran were either between Edward or Cameron. As of right now, though, Millen is 2 seconds behind on them. Obviously, he's got the global helmets. He's got Ollie not that far behind either. And remember, Millen's on the soft compound, so maybe Millen was probably just having the same strategy what the AlphaTauri's were doing, go softs, see how long they go and see what their strategies are going and how long the exact same. Or did they agree with the same strat? Right now, Millen isn't in the best position with the soft compound because, yeah, he's going to have to pit early. He's going to be in traffic because the fields that's spread out. The Freuds are going to get lapped, I guarantee it. Because as of right now, Gat's a leader from 19th is 1 minute 18, and I believe a lap round is around about 1 minute 30 race lap, maybe 1:30, 1:28, I believe. Let's have a look. Fastest lap is, yeah, it's around about 1 minute 28 to 1 minute 30. So we'll keep an eye on that gap as we see now Ollie Favell passing Millen in the hangar straight, in Stoke corner now. And there we have it. Millen trots back to 7th, so maybe the soft compound is now starting to fall off. Lordy staying with Edward. Bran still trying to find a way through, but maybe he's just, you know, biding his time and getting pulled along. I've just noticed telemetry isn't up. I thought I had it up. Alex Wall then has been overtaken by Snooks, it looks like. Snooks has moved to 9th after a recovery with a bit of instant with his teammates. Edward there loses the rear a little bit as well. As of right now though, still have 19 cars on the grid, which is good, so nobody decided to retire or anything yet. As Lordy's now picking up the pace a tad bit more now. Maybe Edward's in a bit of trouble, maybe he thought, yeah, let's get the overtake done. Let's try and pull the gap, but right now he hasn't been able to do that. He's just put a little bit there through that final cut, so he picks up another penalty. I think he might call it a day anytime soon. Yep, he's definitely calling it a day. He's just spending the pits and he's definitely retiring, yep. I hope this doesn't cause safety car or anything, because we have had glitches where that has happened. And it hasn't, good. But somebody has called it a day today, and I think he might call it a day in his racing career for IRL. He's not really having the fun like he used to, and he's not saying it's the game's fault. He's actually not that bad on the game. I think he's just not really enjoying racing anymore, which is fair enough. Might have to drive down the comms box, or might even comp for F2. As of right now though, Lordy then still keeping up with Edward. Bran right behind. Ollie slowly closed the gap a little bit there, now drops again to 2 seconds. No, closed the gap even more now, 1.6 now. Millen is just staying with Ollie. And I think these guys are slowly catching up some traffic ahead of the AlphaTauri team. 3.3 seconds right now, so maybe the AlphaTauris are going to have to decide who's going to pit first. Do I pit or does Cameron pit? So Alfie's going to have to make that decision with his teammate, and Cameron's going to have to decide if he's going to pit first. And I think he'll pit first, obviously, for the championship sake, for the drivers. And then obviously Alfie then pits the next lap. Or he tells Alfie to pit a lap early before Cameron pit. And now Ushin's got a 3-second penalty, and I believe he has already 10 already had done for this race. So yeah, right now he has 13 seconds worth of penalties. Ushin was only really dropped to 15, no points obviously. It's really spread out. I wasn't actually expecting this kind of race, to be honest. I thought we would have had a real close race, a couple of fights, obviously people making moves left, right and centre. Right now I wouldn't say it has been that entertaining on lap number 8 as we are now. Going to be starting lap 9 soon. Obviously the AlphaTauri is first and second. As Lordy there, ready to make a move, it looks like, potentially on Edward, as he's keeping up there. I will give Lordy the credit, to be fair. People could say though Edward's not really pushing, but even still, Lordy's managed to match his pace, and yeah, he's on the quicker tyre, but even still, he's doing a good job right now. Bran also 5th, holding with them, as he didn't look like he had good quality pace, and 20's now picked up a 3-second time penalty as we can see Millen getting a bit close now to Ollie. He might make the move soon. Ushin gets a 5-second speed in the pits. He's retired. I believe that will be his penalty serve since he's done the race. As we can see a Red Bull now. Oh, the Red Bull's been murdered by Donut Denim. Ross went to the race for F2. He's caused a safety car as well. So Ross has basically taken out Snookser. That's the race today, and he's took out Snookser. So I don't know. From what I saw, it could be, you know, Snookser might have turned in on him. But silly there for Ross if he did take him out. Because the penalty, if he gets a penalty here, it should be applied for the F2 division because he's, you know, decided to, join. Cameron in the pits, and so safety car has actually benefited the AlphaTauri team and they can risk a double stack. I think they're lose around about 5 seconds under the double stack. But I think because the pit lane's that bloody slow, they might not even actually lose that much time. Edward could jump him or get closer. I think mediums will be going to the end. Edward obviously got mediums as well. Lordy, on the other hand, is in a bit of an issue here. He's now going to make a choice. Do I go on softs and pray for another safety car? He is going softs. So I would have gone the hards just to go to the end, but he's gone the soft tyre to risk, obviously, another thing. And the Haas there, Millen, I'm going to keep an eye on that as he leaves the pit lane. The Alfa Romeo team getting held up. As Ross then in the pits then. And as both AlphaTauris then first and second leaving the pit lane. And as I said, it's very close between Alfie and Edward there as Ross then moves to 7th. Let's see anything in the F1 general chat. Nope, nothing has been said as of yet. Usually some people talk when there's a safety car. Snooks has just left his box now after being taken out twice. One by his teammate Cameron Armstrong and now by Ross. So Cameron Armstrong's trying to catch up with the grid. He's on mediums, 7 laps. I believe he started on the mediums. Yeah, so he's going to have to make this stop and decide what tyre wants to go on. Michael, if I was him, I'd stay out, try and lap, then pit, and then try and catch him up. Mumford, just stay out, you can go to the end. As Cameron Armstrong has gone into the pits then. He's going on another set of mediums. I need to check that because... What did he... no, he's going to the end because he went on hards and then went back to mediums. Yep, he's going to the end. So Cameron Armstrong then is going to the end of the race on those mediums, obviously in 15th. I don't think any threat for the leaders. As right now then back to both of the leaders, obviously while we wait for the drivers to catch up on the safety car. I don't think the Ferrari is going to catch up if they pit again. Lordy obviously, he's going to be quick on the softs. One. I don't think they're going to last around about 16 laps. I don't think around about 15 to 16 laps. There's no way those softs are going to last that distance. 10 laps maybe at a push. 16, there's no way. And I think it will have to hope for another safety car or just pit. As Ross is back in the pits again. I think, obviously just to, obviously we're scheduled to stop. Same with Snooks. Ollie's the only person who's on the hard. Snooks has got a 5-second with a severe collision with Ross. That's twice these two being involved in an incident. But we might actually now see some racing actually now. I know I don't sound too excited. It's because I'm just expecting a lap 1, turn 1 incident again. As Ross then leaves the pit lane for new front wing. So Ross did get some damage with the incident. I'm wondering if he was at fault with that then, whacking him. And Tony obviously moves to 12. So Tony is getting another chance to score some points. And I believe actually he's the only one who scored points for every round. I'll have a look at that. A second while I wait. No, he isn't. He didn't score points. Actually, the only driver that scored points every round, actually, to be fair on the driver, is actually Millen. Yeah, Millen has scored points every round. That's why I think that's what's really helped him being ahead sometimes of like Curtis and Cameron in the Drivers' Championship a couple of rounds ago. because like either they've had a DNF or something's not gone right. And right now, I think a bit of that look, what usually happens to them, has happened to Millen today, because obviously he was involved with that turn, like that one incident. Now he's going to the end of the race, so he's in a good position. He could get third, fourth, because obviously Lloyd's still going to be pitting. We've got to count that into effect. But if Millen can match Edward on race pace on the same compound, and Edward can almost challenge Alfie, we could see maybe a three-way scrap for a second. I don't think anybody's going to be matching Cameron today, because Curtis is too far back. He's like the closest person I'd say who would match his pace. He's too far back. He's 11th. He's now going to somehow, for his championship's sake as well, because he's a bit further behind these two, he's got to get some solid points. He's got to get 5th. He's got to get ahead of Millen. If he can in one way or another, he's got to get ahead of Millen to try and gain some points. But if he can't, just finish behind him, like 5th, or if Millen obviously finished 4th, and just recover the damage before the damage gets too much for your drivers' championship near the end of the season. Because as I said, as right now, Millen obviously was second with 90 points, Cameron first with 94. Curtis has only got 74 points. So, good afternoon, Matthew. Welcome to the stream. Curtis then moves to 10th. Billy's decided to pit. What type? Why are you going softs? There's no way softs are making that distance. Around here especially as well, there's no way in hell the softs making that distance. I've never seen the softs making that distance. The only track which I was surprised the softs made a ridiculous distance and actually stayed competitive was when Cameron Armstrong in Qatar. Like, the softs shouldn't have lasted that distance, they did, but they did. And Jeddah would be the next track, I'd say. The softs could actually last a pretty decent amount. Matty, what do you think of that? Do you think the softs potentially could last that distance, or do you think they're just praying for another safe car? Because that's what I think. I think they're waiting for another safe car. I mean, that's why Ollie and Michael in 15th have gone on hard compound. And the reason why also I thought earlier on the top 3 at the start of the race, one soft, because I thought there was third rain coming. Now maybe they had that glitch game where no rain on the win. Safeguard will be in this lap then. I'm surprised everybody's actually caught up, so fair enough on that. So we are going to see a 17 car race. Ocean's probably going to be kicking himself now. Obviously he did have that massive pen, so maybe not. But other than that, I believe the safety car will be in its lap, as we have the Merc safety car for this weekend. I thought it would have been the Aston, but it's not, it's the Merc. And the safety car is in this lap, so we're about to go back to green flag race. Remember, Tony Snookster have 5 seconds. Right. 5 seconds, he has a 3 second. Snooks has a 5 second. The other Aston, Ross somehow didn't get a 5 second with the contact in the pit lane. Interesting. But Billy then needs 17th on the soft compound. Very smart to wait on that. Well then, all eyes on Cameron. Will he get a good enough start? He hasn't gone yet. He's gone now actually. He's released him. And he's underway then into the final couple of corners to start lap number 13. Around the final corner he goes. I think he's got enough of a gap. He's almost got a DRS gap already. He's had a solid start. Same with Alfie. He's kind of left Edward in a bit of trouble here, because now here comes Lordy. Lordy's now looking hungry. He's on the quicker compound right now. If I was him, I'd just get the move done and just try to catch Alfie if he can on these tyres. He should be able to, even with a bit of the pace difference between them two. Millen obviously ain't going to be waiting around. He knows now this is it. I've got to get a good result here to keep my championship alive, because if Cameron gets a win and I lose too many points, to be fair, I don't think he'd be able to beat me in a season against Cameron like that. Because Cameron's had a tough season. His first win was obviously last 2 weeks ago at France, and it looked like he's going to be the back-to-back. And Millen already making a move, already on Lordy, already in a 4th. I thought Lordy was going to make a move in Edward. Millen makes the move, and I don't think Lordy's giving up. I don't think he's happy with that overtake. He wants it back. He's trying to go for it potentially through Cops corner. He isn't going for it at the moment. He's probably going to wait through after he goes past Magus and Beckett's through Chapel. He's probably going to go down the hanger straight to make the overtake. as right now he's trying to stay with him. There's a bit of overtaking behind going on between Big Boy June and Ollie Favell right now. As we see them two switching positions, left, right and centre. They're going side by side there, through back as they go, as the Aston right behind him there, through the hanger straight right now. It's almost 4 wide at one point there, and here comes Tony now, making a move, and he passes the Alfa Romeo. He's going to make the move on the McLaren, as Curtis moves to P7. Curtis is also on a charge right now. It's really kicking up, and this is what I wanted to bloody see at the bloody start. Why couldn't we see that? As Ollie Favell then dropping to P12 now. Snooks making a move to 11. Here comes Tony now, trying to get them touching round, but a bit of contact there with Big Boy Drew, and a Big Boy Drew there spins around, and hopefully Tony hasn't got any damage to the car. I don't know who was at fault with that. Donut Denham then making a move after that. Billy into 13th, but Curtis then right now in 7th, trying to catch up with Brandon Glover, who's just up the road, 1.9 seconds as we speak, in 6th. Ollie Favell and Cameron Armstrong now switching position. Cameron Armstrong, though, I think will get a penalty with the incidents he's had. I have to wait and see who was really at fault there. As we can see now, Snooks there making a move on Alex Waller right now for P8. Now we're seeing some overtakes. Good overtaking there as well. Snooks then moves into P8. Alex then drops next, trying to score some more points for the McLaren team. As now, though, we'll go back on board with Edward Hart. Right now, 5 tenths off Alfie. The guy who's 3 tenths right behind him is Millen. Millen got destroyed at the start. It's now back in P4, so maybe the look's now starting to change midway through this race right now. Cameron trying to get out of that DRS range from his teammate. Gap right now is currently 9 tenths. One more lap and then DRS will be enabled. Millen, got to watch out though. Lordy's not that far behind, 4 tenths. Then Lloyd's already pulled that gap to Brand at 1.1. Lewis Curtis is flying at 1.7 now to Brand. He is catching Brand right now, who's currently in 6th. Edward is already hungry for P2. He wants that P2 as well to try and get his attempt to try and fight for this Drivers' Championship, or just to benefit the Constructors' side compared to AlphaTauri. Right now, Edward is trying to fight Alfie. He's now going to get a bit of a help there with DRS, as long as Alfie doesn't get it. Right now, gap 8 tenths between Alfie and Cameron, so Cameron's probably aiding his team a little bit there to try and keep him to hold the position. And obviously we see a couple of spots further behind there between the McLaren there of Alex Waller and Snookster for P9 there. Sorry, Cameron Armstrong and Alex Waller there switched positions there, and oh, it looked like a bit of contact there, but here it goes, and Mumford now, sorry, Billy there trying to make a move. I keep thinking Mumford's in that Alpine. Billy now making a move, he's trying to get past Alex Waller, can't make it work, got to wait, has to break there. Cameron Armstrong bit of argy-bargy there between a couple of the drivers now, as the McLaren there of Alex Waller and Tony, I thought it was Big Boy June there for a second, as Yellow's in sector 2. Who's gone off? It is Donut Denham, living up to his name, as he spun it there and probably stopped on his way to Dunkin' Donuts then. As Tony then moves into P10 right now, not a bad move there. Now his next objective is to get past Cameron Armstrong. However though, on board with Millen and Edward, all find it out now for Alfie. Alfie 6 tenths, he's got DRS on with Cameron, but Edward's not having it. He wants that position. He's going to make it. No, he has to wait his turn. Got to wait for it. Got to get a move done soon, because if you're going to just stay in this train and burn your ERS, you're not going to get the job done. Because Cameron now, I think, is being smart. Back off a little bit, aid your teammate, and just try and pull him along to just defend, to hold this 1-2, because we've seen it before where the driver's done that and it's kind of aided them. Edward right now is in a bit of trouble here, because yes, he's quicker than Alfie, but he isn't quicker than Cam. So Cam, if Cam now obviously thinks he's really under threat from Edward, he could just pull away and fly away from Alfie, because we all know realistically Alfie ain't quicker than Cameron. Right now is Lordy sold in 5th place, obviously with these soft compounded tyres. I think he's going to pit maybe around about lap 20, go on another set of softs. If he actually makes the distance to the end, I will be surprised, because Brandon is right behind him as well now. So Brand is now getting into the mix. He was almost out of the DRS range, he's now back into it. Curtis was gaining on Brand. It's now 2 seconds. Yellow in sector 1. Donut Denham is doing donuts again. I'm going to have to keep an eye on him, because if he's deliberately spinning to cause a safety car, because if he does, if I do catch him, that is straight back, because we've had enough idiots ruining people's other races. Like, it's just silly. As Alex then gets a 3-second time penalty then. That ain't going to help him to get points. He could still get it with Snooks as 5 seconds. But here comes Alfie now. He's gaining on his teammate. As we can see, Phil in the background there. Brandon then moving to P5 now. Lordy drops to 6th. I don't think Lordy's giving up though. Lordy's going for it. No, it looked like he was going to go for it with that camera angle, but he don't go for it in the end. Stays behind, just probably hoping just get pulled along as much as he can before these tyres just fall off a cliff. He's already done 6 laps on them, so they're not going to be good race pace, and I think Ross is going to retire in a sec. Alfie then, still getting pulled along by his teammate, and which is probably not helping Edward right now. He's probably getting a bit annoyed under the helmet there with Cam helping his teammate, but you know, this is good team tactics from the AlphaTauri team, especially for the construction side as well. And Ross's pit is definitely retiring. He's got a 5-second, and yep, he's called it a day then. So that's the 3rd retirement in the pits. No retirement on track, just in the pits. You're in sector 1. Luckily, nobody's in the first sector trying to make an overtake. As of right now, though, Edward and Millen trying to stay with Alfie, trying to pull away from Brand now. Brand's 8/10 to them. Lordy would have, if Brand wasn't here, Lordy would have already been out of the DRS and he'd be in his own little world. And Cameron Armstrong now picks up 3 seconds. Lewis Curtis closing the gap to Lordy, 1.7 now. What's 2 seconds earlier on? It's now 1.7, so he has closed a little bit now. He's lost a bit of time though to Brand. Brand's increased the pace. Are we going to see an overtake finally? Lap number 17, down the hanger straight we go. No, Edward's still not close enough. He ain't going for it yet. I think he's just waiting his time to make the move. But you don't want to make it too late, because if you make an aggressive move very late on in the race and cause an incident, and you're at fault. Oh my god, there has been, oh my god, Jesus, Michael and Billy Mossam, there's been a absolute destruction in the back of the hanger straight there. Front wing, I thought I saw a wheel. I could see front wing on the track there. If this was simulation damage and somebody's tyre went over that, well, the tyre would have popped. And Lordy has been saved. Not scored any points. I'm not saying he's been saved to get a good result like 3rd, 2nd or 1st, obviously, because the safe car is now out. And obviously some of these guys, like Tony, like Cameron Armstrong, like Alex, Ollie Pavel, Mumford, Michael and Billy. Obviously Michael and Billy caused the safe car. They're getting new front wings. They're on soft tyres, right? And these now guys are under the safety car, obviously, so I don't believe there will be a delta. So these guys will have to try and catch the safety car as quick as possible. So right now, if these guys decide, you know what, let's pit, right? They could lose position. I don't think some of them will pit. I think they'll stay out. Because if they pit and these guys do actually catch them quite quick, because obviously they're under the safety car right now. I'm just trying to think. It would... I think I'd throw him in the mix where the Red Bull is and the McLaren is if Cameron decides to pit. Because they are obviously gaining, so it might drop behind them. I don't think these drivers like Cameron, Alfie, Edward, Millen, Brand will want to pit. Because, yeah, we're going to be on a slow tyre, yeah, we might get overtaken later in this race, or earlier on in this race. But we know our tyres can make it to the end. If we pit, risk going on the softs, which might not make it to the end, which they probably will now though. We risk losing the position and could be involved with an incident. That's probably what's going through their mind right now. Do they pit or do they not? So, if it was me, I wouldn't pit. I'd say out. Risk the mediums. We know the medium's going to go to the end. Just risk the pace. If your pace just completely drops off, then fair enough. We saw Lordy did 6 laps. 6 solid laps in the softs. Cameron ain't going in. Alfie is going in. So Alfie's made the call. So is Brand. Millen stays out. Interesting. Will Curtis pit? If I was Curtis, I wouldn't have pit. He's pit. So, interestingly enough, this actually has now turned it a little bit, because I think Cameron's still going to win. I think Edward's not going to get a second with this. Millen's going to get 3rd. I think. As long as if Tony can get through Big Boy Jern, and obviously doesn't get a penalty with the incident, because I don't know who was at fault with that. And obviously the stewards will have to look at that. Fair enough to them. And oh my god. Lordy, I don't think had a spare set of softs, so he's gone back on mediums. I think that was a mistake with the crew, or he just didn't have the tyre available. Well, that's kind of hindered Lordy then, on pace-wise. Yes, he can go to the end, but he's not going to be happy with that. He had issues with the car in quali, with the like glitch or something. Billy and Snooks though. Oh, sorry, Billy and Lewis were switched position. Why did Lewis... maybe had a legal overtake. But yeah, I thought they would have been in that, and Lordy's being given a 5... Why is Lordy being given a 5-second penalty? He didn't... He didn't overtake... Did Billy go off the track or something? I need to check stream. Was Billy ahead of Lordy at the pit lane? Have a look. No, Billy was behind him. Well, that 5 seconds was probably getting removed because he was behind him. But I think we're going to go back to green flag racing then. That's on lap number 2 on the safety car. Usually, if the drivers have caught up lap number 2, they will go ahead. And obviously, we'll see any second out going through the third sector. Yep, safety car will be in this lap then. So, as Cameron, Edward, Millen, Big Boy Jewin made a masterclass strategy staying on the mediums. Or, as Tony, Cameron, Alec, Ollie, Mumford, Michael, Alfie, Bran, Lordy, Billy, Curtis, Snookster made an amazing strategy pitting for softs. Obviously Lordy with the fresh mediums, he made a better call. It's going to be interesting who wins. I still think Cameron's got the pace to win this race. I still think he's got it. So this is going to be the ultimate test for him as well. Can he hold the win with the guys on the soft tyres? He's going to have to see what Tony can do because we haven't seen Tony's actual pace. We're going back. Billy's been given a 5 second with Lordy and he's okay. I don't know what's just happened there. Billy and something's just happened there. We'll have to wait and see. But we're back on the green flag race and we are green flag. It's not another safety car, even though it does say that. As no, we're back to green flag racing then. So look, Cameron gets goal case start. Same with Edward, same with Millen, same Big Boy doing. Cameron Armstrong and Tony scrapping away now. 4 P4. Oh, Cameron, got to be careful. Got to give your driver some space there. Bit of a whack there. It's definitely going to annoy Tony. I know you guys are quicker on the soft, but be careful. Cameron Armstrong moves to P4 already. I think the soft runners have made the perfect call to pit. As we see another scrap further behind. Lordy, Snookster, Curtis, all scrapping for the one piece of track. Yellows. There is Yellows. Who has spun? That's Tony. Tony's out. That's a manual retirement. I think he's going to be annoyed with Cameron Armstrong, I believe. That might have been with or Big Boy June or Alex Waller. I don't know who it was, but they were the closest people in that area. Right now, though, Millen under threat right now. Cameron Armstrong, yes, he has a penalty. Doesn't mean, oh, he could still even win this race. We've seen it before where drivers on the penalty and Cameron Armstrong is already flying. He's pushing his limit on the car. He's already trying to find a move to the right side, to the left side. Where is he going to make it? Millen makes a choice for him. Millen defends on the inside. Is the softs going to make it work? Is he going to lose grip on the rear end of the exit? No, he gets a solid exit. Cameron Armstrong into P3 potentially. As he made the move work, Millen trying to defend on the outside, then takes the inside of the next corner. Millen gets cut off there. The McLaren gets a bit of contact, and Cameron Armstrong moves to third. Bit sketchy between the two of them there. But here comes Cameron Armstrong now. Next step objective is Edward. Have they made a mistake? Because Alex Waller could even get a good result here. Right now, he's in P5. Yes, he has a penalty. And Yellows, safe car. Safe car has been called. Why has there been a safe car? That's why there's been a safe car. Slinks has no bloody front wing. What happened there? I wish there was a bloody system where, like in F1 Manager, where they have that bloody replay system. At least then we could see if we miss anything. There's been a massive accident. Quickly go on that. Boom, boom. Unfortunately, Cody's can't make that because they're not smart. Cameron then. It's going to be close. I think he's still got it. I think he still could win. But Cameron or Alex, or even if I seen Ollie win, then I will be surprised. But nobody's going to pit now except obviously Snookster. But that's I think 3 or 4 safe cars today. 1 B and C. So, as I said, the other rounds have been quite clean. Today, I wouldn't say. I'd say they've been a bit iffy. Tony isn't happy with a lot of the drivers, and Snooks has took a 5 second in the pit lane. Trying to see what happened with Tony, because I didn't catch. I don't know if that was with Big Boy doing, because if that was a Big Boy doing, that's twice he's been in an instant this race low. So As the Merkel Lordy Big Boy Jones thinks obviously pit. And Lordy did have a fresh set of softs. I think it was just a Mercedes mistake there. It's going to be busy this weekend, and I'll tell you a guy who's definitely going to be busy. Well, two guys who are definitely going to be busy defending is Cameron Armstrong and Edward Hart. Not Cameron Armstrong, Cameron Young and Edward Hart. And Miller as well, actually, and Barton as well. Because I don't know, it's really 50-50 who wins this, because Cameron could win, Edward could win. You could even see bloody Miller win this bloody race. Or even Brian could surprise me and win this race due to going to get pens. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Well, I won the safety car. We've got 6 people watching. If any of you guys are new to IRL, be interested in any sign up information for potential PS F1 or F2, as we have that on a Sunday 7 PM. If you're interested in that, do sign up. But if you're also interested in the PC side, we do have a PC F1 and F2, and hopefully next season a bit more sounds, maybe a PC F3. All we need now is conference, which we are working on. So hopefully we'll have 5 races streamed a week altogether. Hopefully, as long as we get content. That's obviously will be next season. That is our objective. As we wait for everybody obviously to catch up to safety car, and waiting for the safety car to go back in the pit lane, and we go back to the green flag. But right now it's anybody's game to win this race. I think Cameron, yeah, he's got the experience. Same with Edward, he's got the experience as well compared to some of these guys. But Bran, he's got experience and he's on the quicker tyre, so Bran could even do well. You see some guys, Ollie, Alex, Cameron Armstrong, Big Boy and Snooks, Big Boy Jim and Snooks, they've got penalties. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, because I thought Tony, with the when Tony was on those softs, that he could have run away with this race in the end. If the way that start went, I thought Tony was just going to get through, but where Cameron Armstrong potentially made that overtake with him, and then I think he was involved with the McLaren, one of the McLarens, so, and I think it was Big Boy Dewan, which, if that is the case, yeah, it's not good, because I will say this as a commentator, the start of the race was shocking with the standard racecraft. There's too many instances in like a corner, and yeah, it's not been the best. But other than that, it happens. You can't always get the cleanest races. Sometimes you have a really shocking race, and sometimes you have a good race. As we're going to go back to green flag racing, the safety car is in. Cameron Young leads. I keep getting Cameron Young and Cameron Armstrong mixed up. Cameron Young hasn't gone yet. He's going to wait late this time, I think, because it'll probably work better for him. And, well, it looked like a potential AlphaTauri 1-2. It's no longer going to be that. Cameron's gone. Lap 24 now. Have we got enough time for somebody to challenge Cameron for this win today? Let's see, 3-1 we go. We're going board to Cameron Armstrong, already trying to make a move potentially on Edward. Trying to set him up for the second straight. Trying to go potentially around the outside, actually. It looked like they almost got a good enough run. Alfie moving to a 10th now with Curtis. Scrapping away in the background. I've got to miss that right now because we're on board with second position. Actually, scratch that. We're not going to miss that now because Alfie's just dropped a lot of positions. He's just dropped 3 positions. He's just been swamped. There's Lordy there, centred on the inside of Curtis there. And he makes it work. He's going to hold it around the outside. Is Alfie now going to slot in with this? Trying to get his nose in there. Can't make it work, but Lordy, decent enough try there as the McLarens now of Big Boy Duran and Mumford now at war. And Cameron Armstrong is already on the back end of Cameron Young. But remember, Cameron Armstrong has a penalty. The driver, like Michael, maybe need to be in the mix with this to challenge these guys. We're on board with the fight for the lead then. So the lead is going to change. It'll be the first time now. And, well, Cameron Armstrong overtakes Cameron Young then. And remember, penalties, because I don't believe he has a penalty. He only has a 3 seconds, so he might get it removed if it obviously was harsh. Whatever the penalty was. Millen trying to get a podium. Now, as I said, he's been in this position before plenty of times. And Spain was the main one he was in, where he was fourth, tried to get third, and just didn't go for the overtake. He just was too scared, I'd say. Curtis now picks for 3 seconds, so he's definitely not getting points. So Curtis is going to lose a bit more points from Millen and Cameron Young then. And, well, Millen is doing a good job, and Cameron Armstrong is the only guy really with the pace on the soft compound, because Alex already in 5th, Ollie 6th, Brandon in 8th. Brandon could move to P5 right now. P5 or P6, so Mumford's up all the way to 14th. I don't know if that was with an instant or he's just lost the position. There's 1 lap 25, the penultimate lap of this race. We'll be starting the last lap very shortly. I don't think Cameron Armstrong is getting 3 seconds within the lap. He's literally got to burn everything. Cameron Young's got plenty of battery to burn. He's using that now to stay within the DRS, just to confirm the win. Alfie's now got a 3 seconds. So it doesn't look like he's going to score points. I think Mumford somehow is going to score points as well. Cameron Armstrong's got another pen. Yep, that's it. Game over. Cameron Armstrong is definitely not winning this race now. It is game over. So Cameron Young looks like he's going to win it, as we have 1 more lap after this lap. Any overtakes further behind? Yes, we do. We see a Ferrari of Michael and Ollie Favell now scrapping away for P6. Michael making moves. Ollie, oh my god, Ollie went for a very late braking zone overtake. Now he's under threat by Big Boy Junior to get a nice rear shot there. And Big Boy Junior, likes the Alfa Romeo there. Ollie didn't give him enough room. Let's go on board with them. Oh my god. That was bloody close to causing an accident there between Big Boy Junior and Ollie. Big Boy Junior would have been at fault there, gaining way too much speed. And look at Lordy, he's not giving up. He's sending it yet again, making the move for P10. Can't make it, can't get the grip. Now he's under pressure now from Alfie. Alfie right behind him. And we're going to see a last little scrap there for the final point. Obviously, Lordy's going to gain, I think, the 6th, the way this is going. Alfie can't make it work. Lordy waiting his turn to try and just find a way past Curtis. He's going to go 6th. I think, anyway, so with penalties, and might even gain an extra position with Cameron Armstrong. So let's actually have a look. Gap to the leader. It's 5.5. Lordy don't get a pen, and he holds that gap right now. We're going to keep the leader. Gap 5.6 right now. Lordy could get another position. Lordy could finish 4th. Lordy needs to burn everything he's got right now. Everything. And Curtis is probably going to hinder him here. Same with the Alfa Romeo and the McLarens here. There's over 3 wide, scrap there. And oh, that's it. That's it. Yep, that's just ruined Lordy getting that position. He's going to be furious with that. As Cameron Armstrong then comes around the final corner to win it on track, but will lose on penalties as Cameron Young takes the win at Britain. As I said, Edwards 2nd, Millen finishes 3rd, Michael 4th, may lose obviously penalties. Cameron Armstrong 5th, Mumford 6th, Brand 7th, Big Boy Junior 8th. Lordy then does finish at this point in 9th. I think he might have been involved with another incident. I did miss out there. And Lewis does get a point. Lewis Curtis actually finished 10th in the end. So I'm wondering if there's been when I switched to obviously the lead, I'm wondering if there's been an absolute pile up somewhere. And I think, like, add on after that incident. Yeah, in my opinion, piss poor racing standards today, and it will definitely get looked at. But the guy who doesn't need to have a look at his racecraft, because it's been on point for the past couple of rounds, is Cameron Young. He takes the victory and more points for his championship lead. He gains ahead of Millen and miles ahead of Lewis Curtis. 2nd then goes Edward, obviously trying to see if he can get into the title fight. I don't think he will be in for it anyway. But Millen gets a good, lucky 3rd place in the end. And as I said, I'm surprised Cameron, in the end, with the way the softs were going, the pace. But there is your top three: Cameron, Edward, and Millem then in third. Michael, on his debut, I believe, today in fourth. I believe he is an F1 driver reserve. Kevin Armstrong fifth. Mumford then in sixth. Obviously, his points will be added to Alpine, I believe. Brandon in seventh. Not a bad race there, especially starting 14th. And same with Kevin Armstrong, but obviously instance might change that. Big Boy Journal also saying with instance might change that as well, but finishes 8th. Lloyd then unlucky in 9th. Looked like he could have got 4th, but then drops to 9th. Lewis 10th, Alex Wall 11th, Alfie 12th, Ollie 13th, Snooks to 14th, and Tony, Billy, Ross, or Dunkin' Donut Denham, Ushin, and Sondre all DNF'd from today's race. But yeah, it's been an interesting race. I won't say the best race. I'd probably say it's probably been the worst race this season. Obviously not for obviously top 4 and top 3. They've had a good race, but I think some of the drivers ruined it for some other people, and the driving standard, I think this is probably in the worst round for driving standards, so I think streets are going to be busy. But I have been your commentator, I on Neon, I was Jared Fosbury. The next round is round number 9, which I'll just get up right now on my calendar. Round number 9 is Canada, actually, ironically enough. It's Canada then for round number 9, which is going to be a brilliant track to race. So hopefully the race standards are miles better, because some drivers are getting fed up. And then after that, Canada, for round number 10, will be Vegas. And then round number 11 will be Australia, and then round number 12 at Brazil. But until then, as I said, I've been your commentator on Neon, as Jared Fosbury. But we'll see you guys for the Canadian Grand Prix next round. Goodbye for now.